Okay, so let's try this one with the steps. So the first step is to multiply the first number by the last number. And again, the first number is what is the coefficient of x squared. So in this case, it's a 1 again, and the last number is 20. So 1 times 20 is 20. Second step, get factors of this which add or subtract to make the middle term. So there's your middle term. So factors of this is 2 times 10, 4 times 5, and of course we want whichever one's going to work out to be make add or subtract to make the middle term. So we can see straight away 2 and 10 is going to work out there. And again, consider the signs. It's really important at this stage you figure out what the signs have got to be. To make a plus 12, we're going to need a plus 2 and a plus 10. Okay, so now we're going to rewrite the quadratic. So the quadratic, remember, is x squared plus 12x plus 20, but we're going to rewrite the middle term with a 2x and a plus 10x instead. So we've got x squared plus 2x plus 10x plus 20. So now factorize. So look at the first two terms. What's common to both x squared and 2x is x. We need to multiply by another x again to get x squared back, and a 2 to get 2x back. And what's common to 10x and 20 is 10. 10 goes into both. And we need an x plus 2. And again, these match up nicely, which is what we need to have happen. And the x plus 10 goes together for the first bracket. The repeated bracket is the second bracket. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so factorize this one. X squared minus 7x plus 12. Press pause and see how you get on with this. So first number by last number again is 1 times 12, which is 12. I want factors of 12 to add or subtract to make a minus 7x. So factors of 12, we have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. The one that's going to work is the 3 and the 4, but the signs, be careful here now, in order to make a minus 7, we'd have to have minus 3, minus 4. Okay, and then rewrite the quadratic. So the quadratic is minus 7x plus 12. We're going to replace the minus 7x with minus 3x minus 4x instead. And common to both x squared and minus 3x is x. And we need to multiply an x minus 3. And common to 4x and 12, remember, leave that sign. I can pull out a 4. Remember, the brackets should be the same. Let's see if we can make this work. It would have to be 4 times x, of course we want a minus 4x, so we need a minus, and let's check that it works for the last term. A minus by a minus is plus. 4 times 3 is 12, so yes, we're getting that back. So the answer is x minus 4 and x minus 3. Now, because these quadratics are what we would call easier quadratics, in other words, when you don't have a number greater than 1 at the start, you can skip through these steps here. Because the minute you figure out what the numbers have got to be and the signs to work to make your middle term, you can skip from step 2 and put them straight in the brackets. Obviously you need an x by an x to get x squared, and then you just need to put in your minus 4 and your minus 3, and you've got the answer. Okay, now the reason I have taught you the full step method, the 4 steps from the start, is because those steps will never fail you. And when we start dealing with quadratics where we have a coefficient greater than 1, it gets a lot more complicated and you must do each of the steps. But now we're dealing with these easier ones here at the start. We're going to start trying to jump and making our lives a little bit quicker and easier here. So once you get to this step, we can jump straight to this step. Only, of course, when we have a coefficient of 1x squared. Okay, so try x squared plus 7x minus 18. And maybe try do the quick way with this one because we have just a coefficient of 1. So we're going to do step 1 and step 2 and then jump to step 4, okay? So, pause the video, see how you get on with this. So 1 times minus 18 is minus 18. I want factors of minus 18 that will add together to make a plus 7. So Factors of 18 would be, of course, 2 and 9. And 2 and 9 would work to make plus 7. But we've got to make sure that the 2 multiply to make a minus 18, but add or subtract to make a plus 7. So what do the signs have to be? Well, in order to make a 7, we would have to subtract the 2 from a positive 9. Minus 2 multiplied by plus 9 would give me minus 18, which works. So they multiply to give the minus 18. And when you add them together, minus 2 plus 9 will give you 7. So we've got the right set there. They must multiply to make this and add together to make the middle term. So now I know what these are and I've considered my signs. I can jump to the last step because I know it has to be an x times x, and I've got minus 2 plus 9. Okay, try this one. X squared plus 7x minus 30. All right, pause the video and see how you get on with this. So again, we've got a coefficient that's 1, so it's 1 times minus 30. So we've got an easier quadratic, so we can jump from step 2 to step 4. Minus 30 is what we are looking to get factors of. Factors of minus 30 that will add or subtract to make a plus 7. So here, factors of 30 could be 5 times 6 or 3 times 10. And 3 times 10 look like it's going to work here. We have got to consider the signs here though. We've got to make a plus 7, but when we multiply, we've got to make a minus 30. So in order to make a plus 7, we would have to take away 3 and add 10. And if you multiply a negative 3 by a plus 10, you would of course get minus 30. And when we add them together, minus 3 add 10, we would get a 7. So that's working perfectly. So we can jump then to our last step. Because it's an easier quadratic of coefficient 1, we can go x times x and minus 3 in one bracket and plus 10 in the other.